Righty. I'm back. This time I'm going to talk about the NFL draft, which just finished up about 2-3 hours ago. I got to admit I only thoroughly watched the first, second, and third round since I was at a birthday party, but I looked up the most important picks, and at least the important picks that the Vikings made, since it's my favorite team. It's not my team, but it's my favorite team in the NFL. I thought it was a really interesting draft with a lot of clumsy picks, especially in the first round, where some teams dropped the ball completely. I really don't like this year's drafting of the quarterbacks. I don't think Trubisky / Watson, whatever you want to call all of those guys, they are at best, if you want to place them realistically, by placement of their raw talent, they should be placed at bottom end of the first round. But for some reason, the Bears completely dropped the ball. The management, I don't know what they're doing. They are throwing, completely throwing, what is he called? John Fox completely under the bus. And they could just as well just fire him right now. It's just a sad excuse for them to waste basically the second and the third round pick, or whatever they use. They use way too much to get one space ahead of the 49ers, which obviously want to trade out, since they need so many things, which the Bears did as well. The Bears traded to make kind of an excuse of a project quarterback or a new era, so they won't get slapped as hard as by the media as they have been, or as they have been suffering for the last 3 years now. It has been a sad state of affairs for the Bears, and they dug their own hole even further. Basically ruled themselves out of a draft by doing that stupid thing, because this draft is really deep and you need a lot of picks, and that is where the Vikings did a great job. But further on, the Texans, I don't know what on earth they're doing. They keep searching for the quarterback. Use the free agency, for fuck's sake. But then again, if you can't spot a talent, and they certainly can't, they're not able to spot talent. Why are you pigeonholing yourself in on such a thing? They lack a tight end. They'll need more weapons in its entirety. Their O-line is not that great either, in my opinion. And I know this draft wasn't that great for O-line. Nobody was worth a first round pick on the O-line. Maybe Robertson, but Cam, sorry. But then again, I just think they're too desperate. There were too many teams that were too desperate to get quarterbacks ASAP, and basically they wasted draft picks, which, in my opinion, you should only use in the second round. Second round talent, or third round talent, some of them even. That's where they should have gone, but they went in the first round, which really fucked up most of this mock drafts and whatever you want to say, and that's why you got to have a lot of maneuverability in the draft. And the Browns completely owned the first day of the draft. They had control over the board. They got what they wanted. They didn't lock themselves into a specific need. And of course, certain teams need something specific to win. But a lot of teams actually To be frank, don't win just because they get a good first round pick. They need depth, and a lot of teams suffers from injuries, so you need good backups. Just look at the Vikings last year. For that matter, look at the Patriots. They have guys that can step in. And then you look at the Steelers, they don't have a goddamn thing to put in. They don't even got a decent backup quarterback. It's sad. For that matter, the Seahawks, what on earth are they doing in the draft? Not focusing on O-line. They absolutely fucked up once again. It's a joke. It's a great organization. It's a great coach. It's good at spotting talent, but what are they doing? I'm not focusing more on O-line, and I know they not pigeonholing yourself in on one thing or tunnel visioning, but surely you have to address this need a lot quicker. I also thought the Packers completely misread the situation. They got more picks, but they need absolutely more depth at their back end. I know they got some good picks, but I'm not sure. I just think, just like with Cowboys, I have the same feeling with them as I have with the Packers, even though the Packers have more maneuverability and a better cap space. And certainly the Cowboys don't have any kind of cap space because of an incompetent management, but that's another story. But what? You need you need any basically free agents could do a better work than they did last year. Both of the teams were absolutely disastrous at carrying downfield, and it was so bad. And you can say whatever you want, and at least they didn't do themselves. I don't know. They did themselves. Sorry, just retake that. They did themselves, at least the Green Bay Packers did themselves a favor in not drafting a running back, even though they need one. Which is kind of funny, since you have Dalvin Cook, which the Vikings took. Great pick. Kamara, also a great pick. And then you have, what is he called? That little speedy guy. Oh, I've just forgot his name. Well, doesn't matter. There were basically 3 running backs, which you should have you should have picked up from the Packers, but they didn't want to do that. It's classic Packers, not doing anything crazy in the draft, always stable. But I thought they dropped the ball in the sense that they wanted to move down from spots where they actually needed some real quality players, because you can't just have depth, you need quality players and at the back end, and I don't think they have any kind of talent at either the... Okay, Matthews is raw, is a superstar, but he's hurt half the time. But they don't have any kind of talent, and they just basically got depth, but they don't got any kind of super talent and I just think they sacrificed too much. That's a situation where you got to have some feeling with it, have some good touch, and just in my opinion, they dropped too much, just like the Seahawks also tried to do. I know it's some situations it's good and some it's not. I think the Broncos did a terrible job in this draft. No idea what they thought they were doing. Got nothing, basically. A terrible first round draft where they didn't even okay, it's relative everything because you need to see how they play out. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt, but they reached, and that was also just in general the theme of the first day, reaching, too much reach, too many teams reaching, and the Browns just getting away with murder basically, and with San Francisco as well. Second day, just to sum it up, Vikings completely owned, got Elfline and Dalvin Cook, great acquisitions. Maybe should have stayed, but they got worthwhile picks. I think they got some much needed depth. They actually have some flexibility at their O-line. They for sure can't get hurt as bad this year. Knock on my wood, you never know. But now they got something brewing in the backfield, and I think Bradford could have a good year. And for once they are, and now it's just the Vikings segment. For once, I actually think they got something kind of a modern system, and I know everybody knows it by now, but it's going to be fun to watch Vikings football. It's not going to be one-dimensional. It's not going to be one-way traffic. I'm really excited to see. Also, and now I'm just going back again to other teams. First round, O.J. Howard, in my opinion, the greatest, besides Myles Garrett, greatest player in draft. Went to Tampa Bay, who also got a great receiver. I just forgot his name. I don't know if it's Corey Davis or whoever it was. I don't know. Samuels. I forgot it. Sorry. That happens when you're up, basically, to shit at night, way too late at night because it's European time over here in Denmark. But yeah, back to Tampa Bay. They went under the radar, but got so much quality, star quality. Again, a little relative. I think they're good at offense, but I still firmly believe they need more talent on the defensive side. They're good. They're kind of, in my opinion, they're just about the opposite of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got the defense, but they don't have the offense. And Tampa Bay got the offense, but they don't got the defense. If they could mix up, they would win. And okay, again, you would maybe need a coach that's quite good, but I think it's still in between. I have also the Tennessee Titans, which I like a lot. Did have an okay draft? Nah, nothing really. It's the same kind of position which I would place the Lions, the Bengals. Nah, Bengals should be lower. The Redskins. What on earth? And nothing exciting going on there. Nothing really. Some bad picks left and right. One team I think did well in the second round. The Chargers got some good players. And some O-line needs they desperately needed. Good job on them. I think the Panthers has something brewing now with the offense once again. Still don't believe. I'm not sure that back end or the DBs are good enough. I still don't believe it. They're going to be terrifyingly hard to play against if you get behind, but I've always had a problem with the smash mouth football they're trying to pull off. They seem to get soft during the games, and I don't know if they have enough talent with the character that you need to have to be able to pull it off a whole season. They just seem to get soft if you play them hard as well, and they tend to break. So yeah, I think Vikings dominated day 2. Day 3, I'm not. I'm just going to mention what the Vikings did. I'm a little sad not to see Vikings going after Derek Rivers. I thought he was a really good linebacker. Or was he defensive end? Linebacker, I think he was. They could have needed him, but whatever. Whatever. Cooper Cup or whatever he's called, the receiver. I really loved it, watching him at the Senior Bowl. Others, no, not really. That's just that would be reaching as well. But Anzalone, I think, as well, a linebacker. I liked him a lot. But who cares now? But they got Jaleel Johnson, the Vikings, in the 4th round, traded basically out of the 3rd round in its all entirety. After trading up in the 2nd round 2 times, but Jaleel, some much needed help to depth at the D tackle, where we have a monster Linville, but I still firmly believe we need to step up especially the run defense, which has been a complete liability most of the time under Max Zimmer. I don't know what on earth are going on, and most of all, late in the season, the run defense is terrible, absolutely bad, and basically you need some heroic linebacker plays to make up for it, where you basically start a 2nd down with a 2nd and 4th, because you constantly give up on average almost a 6-yard run each first down. That's how bad it has been for some years now. So good. And Sherry Floyd, you don't know what. I don't think he's going to play. It's sad. Then we got Gideon, some linebacker depth. I don't know if he can potentially replace Chat. Could be fun to see my favorite Viking player right now. It could be fun to see, my favorite player of the Vikings, Eric Kendricks, if you could move him around. Then again, I think he's working tremendously. You don't want to do what the Packers have done to their linebacker course, where they completely messed it up and played. They played too many guys out of position, and that's basically also why we got Dayton Jones. They don't know where to place guys. So I think we should be careful with it. I don't know. I don't think he should play outside. Kendricks, Anthony Barr need to step up this year. Everybody knows that. Control and Gideon would be solid backups, which is a spot we need, because at least Anthony Barr has been susceptible to be injury prone. He's, you never know where he's at. Also, Eric Kendricks has had his problems with it. You need solid backups at that position. At least tackling machines, and also really good for both of them. Really good special teams players. A big must for the Vikings to have a good special team. Sorry. Then we got at least some depth or some raw talent to a returning game in Adams. I don't know if he's going to compete for the right receiver core, but at least there's something to work with here. I like that they're bringing in competition. It's sorely needed, because right now it sticks, and then it's feeling, and I don't know who. Hopefully Treadwell, but I don't know. Then we got Isadora, guard, again some flexibility, some competition. Hopefully not the kind of guard we got last year, the denting guard. But Isadora, I'm not sure what the level of talent is here. But then again, it's just good to get some real competition going on that O-line, because it hasn't been working. Well, the line itself has not been working since 2012. That's how bad it has been, and we really need to step up at this point. It's been an embarrassment, and nothing can beat the disappointment of last year's backup situation. And I don't care about, again, the injuries happened, but the level of backup, what on earth is that shit? And I know they got injured, but then again, it was old players, and then we took in even older players, and this is at least something you can build with. So I like that. Then we got the tight end Hodges. I like it. We need some. I don't know. He's not a blocking tight end, but we really need some end zone. We are absolutely diabolically bad in the red zone. Just not from a running perspective. We were terrible last year, but throwing it, we are so piss poor under the Simmer regime. Wrong word, but his tenure at the Vikings, we have been so bad, and we need it. We need to score more points in those situations, since we're playing style of football where you need to maximize your offense, since you're relying on defensive scheme in a sense, even though it's softening up a bit. But since Simmer has realized maybe maybe it just adapted a bit, not a flawed concept. Then we got Odenigbo, or whatever he's called, some cornerback help. It's good. We need it. I would have preferred a safety, since I don't think Sendejo and Smith can play all downs. I'm not sold on Curse yet. Maybe we can have some of the cornerbacks try out. I don't know. But certainly we need to address the nickelback position if we need to do something about it. I'm not sure right now. It's going to be pure competition. I hope Mackenzie can step up, but I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting camp. Then we got Lee at the end of the draft, alongside Tocho. Both of them. I don't know. It's so hard to evaluate a seven round picks. To be honest, right? I wouldn't say anything about these two players, since alongside Odenigbo, alongside him, Lee and Tocho, I can't at this point. I can't give a clear statement on what I think on them as a player. I want to see them, and I want some competition, and they can at least bring that and something to a practice squad. So actually, I don't really care. Certainly, it's good to see some to sum it up, it's good to see the Vikings doing a tremendous job in the draft, getting the most depth with quality into the team, alongside some star power and some future. And most of all, they are young. It's a young team which actually has quality. It's rare to see, and they got experience as well, the young players. So I think they can do certain things, which I think the outside of the Vikings building don't believe. I think they can pull off some magic this season. Hard schedule, but or at least a hard. Yeah, it's just a hard schedule, but they can do things. But just for God's sake, keep Stafford. Keep Stafford down, but keep Bradford up.